Hi guys, it's Deborah from North of Somewhere Nomad. Today in this video, I'm going to show you guys my kitchen build that I'm in the midst of putting together. And I thought I would share it with you because it's super easy. It's very simple. It's like a workbench style, at least for the main component. And it's just made out of 2x4s. Simple, easy, and it's going to work really well in my van. So if you want to check this out, guys, then let's go. Alright guys, first things first, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I have been living in my new van for about just over a month, and prior to that I had been living in my 2014 Ford Fiesta. So I'm building out my van, designing it, building it out, trying to do it on the cheap, getting lots of good information off YouTube and a couple of friends and things like that. So if I can do this, guys, you can do it. I also want to say thank you. Welcome to all my new subscribers, guys. I'm over the moon just at the amount of people who are tuning in to my journey. So thank you for hitting that subscribe button. All right, let's get to this build. So as you can see, this is my floor, which I just finished, and I've made some adjustments to some different things. So the floor is still a work in progress. Including these tiles that have to go. I just haven't had time to go to the restore and find what I need, so that won't be there on the permanent. So this is where the kitchen is going, in this area right here. So what I started to do is build the sidewalls. So I'll show you guys that. So I want to share a fun fact, not so fun for me, but it's something I experienced during this build, and it's a big, it was a big learning lesson. So I thought I would share with you that 2x4s are not actually 2x4s, right? So when I started the sidewalls, I was measuring everything as if the board was 2 inches by 4 inches, but it's not. It's actually 3.5 by 1.5. So I had to chop. I had to redo a lot of these pieces. We'll cut it up in different things. So I'm show you what I've finished now. Okay, so these are my side walls, and like I said, it's just 2x4s, which is super cheap, super easy, and I like the simple look and also a bit chunky and rustic. I will be finishing this somehow, but I just want to get the structure done. So for one of these, it's basically, I'm not sure if you can see. So I've already put this part on, but I started with 4 pieces of this length, and then I did another 4 pieces this length in order to accommodate a 2x4 to go this way and a 2x4 to go this way to make my base. Okay, there's lots of information on YouTube, guys. This is how I, got the idea to design my kitchen this way. So now what I want to do is I'm going to lay the side walls to build this solid, and then I'm going to join the two together. I'm going to do some measuring and figure out. I've got my area marked off a little bit, but I'm just gonna fiddle with this, and when I'm ready to start cutting and drilling and stuff, I'll bring you guys back in. Okay, so this is the bottom, and I'll take my safety glasses off for a sec. So what's gonna happen is this 29.5 inch piece is gonna sit in this part of the groove, and then this 16-inch piece is going to sit, or actually, sorry, it's not 16 because I did my 2x2 measurements wrong. So essentially that's what's going to happen. It creates a joint, And then after this is the perfect measurements. So I can screw it in this side and in this side, which I love that. So we'll see how it is when I've got this whole bottom foundation done. All right, so I'm going to carry on. Just wanted to show you guys how it's coming together because I love it and it's solid. Okay guys, so here's where I'm at. I've had to redo things a couple times, but you know, you just keep going and then you're gonna get it. So here's the base. It's just basically a square of 2x4s, and now I'm going to put the side pieces on here, and it's making a perfect square. The only thing I got to figure out is where I'm going to put my slider. So, but that's not the issue right now. Just get this thing done because we've got rain coming. All right, so I'll show you the next step when I get there. Now I'm going to show you how I'm putting the sides on this box. Okay, so this one's going to go there, like that. So essentially 2x4 is going to get screwed into this 2x4, and the same for all the way around. But I'll show you the other leg, how it's going on. Same thing. And it's actually going to sit right about there. See? And then there's going to be a tabletop. But before I put the tabletop, I might build something either on top or below. But anyways, this is the structure that I'm going for, and it worked. So I'm going to put this together, and then I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Alright guys, it's not done, but it's so close to being done. I hit a couple of snags in terms of how I want the sliders to go. So my solution is to just take these pieces that aren't perfectly measured, that they're too small for this space, but I'm going to glue them and plate them, and then when the slider comes in, it'll be drilled to this and this and this, and there'll be a metal plate. So I think that's good enough, and if it's not, then I'll have to go back and do a revision. But so far I'm super happy. Obviously there's going to be a countertop. I think I may have enough room to put in a drawer, or even just, yeah, probably a drawer, because I think I'm going to have from about here to there. So that's a good size drawer. But anyways, the base is done. You know, it's not perfect as per usual, but I love it and I think it looks great. I'm not sure if I'm going to paint it or not, but we're not there anyway. Okay guys, so I'm going to pack up my stuff because it's about to rain, and then I don't know when I'll be able to work on this again. Hopefully I might be able to do some work here in the car or the van. So I've just been talking about when I was living in my car to somebody. So okay guys, so I'll be back for the next leg of this kitchen project. Okay guys, so I'm continuing on with my kitchen structure, and all the screwing is done for those three sides. So now what I'm going to do is I didn't buy this piece of plywood, it was left over from another piece I had. So I actually went to Home Depot with the larger piece and asked them to cut this size for me, which they did. Home Depot is so awesome. I also got this slider. So there's two sides, and they're gonna work amazing. But all right, guys. So I'm gonna show you how these sliders are gonna work for my situation. So you can see, like, there's just two parts that go together, and then there's the runner. So the plywood is going to sit on this part of the slider, and it's going to sit on top, and then I'm going to screw it in from the bottom. Now, when the wood is on here, you can see it won't go past that point. Like most of the other things I have done, it is practice, trial and error, and lots of revisions. So the other thing is that I did the measurements because this is gonna take up a 1/2 inch on either side. And this piece of plywood, I had them cut exactly 16 inches because I wasn't sure what this was gonna be, and I knew I'd probably have to trim it down, so that's fine. So my measurement brings me to here, this line, which is about a 1/2 inch. And the issue is right now is how am I going to cut this, because it is raining outside for the most part, so I don't really want to go outside and work. So it's going to make an awful mess in here, but I'm either going to use my hand saw or my jigsaw. I don't want to use my circular saw because it's too intense. So I'm going to do that now, and then I will show you guys how I'm going to install the brackets and the plywood and all the attachments. Okay. Okay, I won't lie, guys. I'm pretty exhausted. I've been going non-stop on my build since I bought the van, pretty much. Because, well, I'm doing it because I want to. I want to get it done, but I am starting to feel pretty tired. But despite that, I feel like I need to keep going because it's actually more difficult to have to move things back and forth all the time. So I feel like if I can just get this main area done, then I'll feel better. And also because yeah, I just want it done. So I'm gonna keep plugging away at this, try to get this this slider door done, and I'm really excited to start building up from there, because I have last night all these ideas were hitting me, and that's how I kind of roll, you know. I get a plan. I get a plan for the build, and with all of these things, really, it just starts to take on a life of its own. And you know, I'm a creative, so that's usually how things come together, and then I get ideas and then I try to implement them. Anyways, that's how I do it. It's not I'm not doing a cookie cutter build or sticking to the plan. No, that's not how I roll. So yeah, as soon as I get this slider done, then the fun part's going to come, because I'm building up, and I have a huge a major epiphany about my water situation, because you know, I don't have a lot of room to work with here. What's it? I think 35-40 inches this way. Anyways, you know, I've made such amazing use of my van so far, the space in here, and it's working. So just keep going. That's all I'm doing. Okay, back to the slider. Okay, so here's my plywood piece cut. I trimmed off that much. Thankfully it didn't get too wet, and that'll dry over the course of the day. So I'm gonna take my slider And it's kind of confusing. Like every time I pull it apart, I'm like, how did this go again? So what I'm going to do is drill in these parts to the sidewalls and then drill the other parts into the wood. I've made so many mistakes to redo, but every time I learn, like, to just take a little bit more time to figure it out. But I'm totally not afraid to make mistakes, and that's important when you're learning these kinds of things, I think. Okay, so these are the miniature little screws. So we're gonna give one a go. One down. Voila. Okay, so this bracket both brackets are screwed into the side walls. And I used this little piece as a spacer, which worked great. So now I'm ready to put the board, this bracket, onto the board. Okay, so you can see that there is, who knows, something like 1/4 of an inch there when it's flush. But I want to move it out just a tiny bit because I did end up cutting this board just a tiny bit small than it should be, smaller. So I am going to move this bracket back a bit. And if I do that on both sides, we should be good. This is what I'm using for the bracket. And they gave, what comes with it are these tiny little 1/2-inch screws, and there's only 3 left, and that's only putting a couple on those. So I do have these 6 by 1/2-inch screws, which are identical, which is great. I actually bought these by mistake for something else. So, well, they're a little bit different. And the head is different. So this one will take a square drill bit. I actually don't like square drill bits because there's 3 in my kit. And anyway, moving right along. So I'm going to start my drilling process here. And I'll show you guys when I'm done, if it's going to work out. Hi guys. Okay, I'm just going to show you what I've come up with. So this piece was the original piece I was working with, and I had cut it too short. So I took too much off to try to fit it into the sliders. So I had another big piece, and so I cut this exactly how it's supposed to fit. Anyways, yay that. Took me several hours. But I'm going to show you what is going on. That can't be right. Alright, you guys, I have been working on this sliding door forever. All day, actually. And I've had to redo it, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 times. But each time you understand a little bit more about what you're doing. So I'm just the type of person who just won't stop until I figure it out. So basically, there's nothing on it, but pulls out. And of course my fridge is going to go on here. And I figured under there, when I do slide it out, I can put a bunch more stuff in there, but I would only be able to access it from that side of the door. Pretty snazzy. And there's a little, like there's something that kind of won't let it just come flying out. So you got to give it a little bit of a tug, which is awesome. I don't know if that's going to be enough to, like if I took a sharp corner, see that little bit of catch. I'll probably put something along here or bungee or something. Anyways, let's see what it looks like with my old fridge on it. I've alluded for a few times that I am getting a new fridge, but there's been a delay, which is fine because this is all ready for the new fridge. Wow. So cool. So when you open it, it then consumes all this space, which is basically my entire top of my kitchen. Anyways, I'm super happy. So if I did have a shelf here, let's say, which I will eventually, I just don't know how high, then I would just pull the fridge out, probably a little bit more than that, get what I need, and then slide it back. Oh man, I love it so much. It was well worth the effort, I can tell you that. So there you have it, guys. This is probably the hardest thing I've ever done. Hands down. Hands down. But wow, did I ever learn a lot. So there's my kitchen's coming together, but now I get to work on the next part, which is going to be a drawer, and also I'm thinking of another fun thing, and then I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with my water. But I think I have a plan for all that stuff. So anyways, guys, I'll show you what I'm doing next in my next video. Okay guys, so that's it for this part of my kitchen build. There's a few more phases to go, but hey, I accomplished the hardest thing I've ever done in terms of creating, but I'm so glad I stuck with it. It was really, really challenging, but you don't know how amazing it feels after you freaking get there. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, guys, if you like this video, hit thumbs up. And if you want to see more content from me, which includes a lot more of my build, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in my next video. Take care.